Well, hello there, Skywinders. Welcome back to another episode of Skywind007. On today's episode, I'm going to be reviewing this. This is my Quasar TV VCR combo. So I bought this back in 1999 from Circuit City here in the US, in the southern US. And that company no longer exists, and Quasar, I think it still does exist. Okay guys, before we continue, I do want to mention this channel right here, XX. So this channel right here, this is the one channel that's been watching every single one of my YouTube videos. So I do want to thank you, XX, for watching. I really do appreciate that. And he or she has 2 videos, and I'm going to go ahead and subscribe. There we go. So basically we're going to be testing this with this VCR. This is a Sony VCR. And what I want to show you is how these old TVs work. If you are 20 years old or younger than that, then you're going to be surprised at how old these TVs are and how they used to work. And we're going to be testing a cassette in it. So let's start. Okay, so let's power it on. Takes a long time to come on, but there we go. So this right here is the original remote. So let's go into the menu and see what that is all about. Whoa. So it wants you to set up the menu, the clock. So TV, these are the options. So you can, this is fairly standard. And you did have 3 languages, English, Spanish, and French. VCR, you could program a VCR so it would start recording by itself at a certain time. And I used to use that a lot. I remember back in the days. If we go in there again, you have to set the clock first before you can do that. So let's set the clock. Now you did have an option for auto clock set. It would get the signal from PBS, which is channel 8, or you could manually do it. So let's just say that date. See, it's 1999. That's the manufacturing date, year. And you had the option for daylight savings time, so it would automatically choose daylight savings. I don't know if I did that right. Okay. So daylight savings could be on or off. So here in the US, we do change time all the time. It's kind of dumb, but we keep doing that. And that's it. So the clock has been set. So programming would be, you would go in here and set a program, and you would select a date, a start time, could be any time, doesn't matter. I would usually set up 2 minutes before my show would come on, and then 2 minutes after my show ended, so just to be sure. And then you select a channel, could be any channel. I don't know if it's going to let me select a channel right now because those haven't been programmed. And there we go. So right here's the date, time to start recording, time to stop recording, the channel, and the speed. You had 3 speeds. This is super long play, SLP. You did have long play, which is LP, and then standard play, which is SP. So that was how that worked. So let's go back in there. So like I said, let's go back to the speeds category. You could select a category: sports, movie, comedy, music, drama, and not available. And speed, like I said, standard play, long play, and super long play. So the quality would decrease with the longer length. So you could record, I believe, up to 2 hours on SLP. About on LP would be about an hour and 20 minutes. And on standard play, which is SP, you would be able to record about 60 minutes. So that would be the highest quality, but the shortest duration, only 60 minutes. Long play would be the medium, so you would get 120 minutes and medium quality. And super long play, you would get those 2 hours that I said, but the quality would decrease a lot. So that was that. And you had, I believe, up to 8 programs. So yeah, you have up to 8 programs for a single cassette. Also, you could also change the cassette in between programs, so it wasn't a big issue. So you could program a lot and just make sure you keep track of the cassettes, so you wouldn't run out of cassette tape. So that was how the programming would work. As far as channel, right here, you had the option of cable or TV. It could you could set it automatically. And over here where it says wake signal display, I turned it off. That would show a signal that is very grainy and a lot of static. Or you could turn it off and then it'll turn into a blue screen. So that's not very relevant. So as far as TV over here, I think we've been here already. You did have caption. So you had caption 1, text, caption 2, text, and off. And you could get that when you press mute. Same thing. Caption 1 and 2, or off when you press the mute button. So that's something I never used. And that's it as far as the menu. So this is the remote right here. I'm not going to go through all of it, but you did have a record button down here. And here were the add and delete channels if you wanted to add a channel. And the rest is fairly normal. The only thing unique about this remote is that you could set it up like that. Most remotes you have to lay them down, but this one you could leave it like that. So that was unique about it. Now the VCR no longer works on this, so I'm going to use this VCR just to demonstrate how it looks. So now that it's turned on, let's pop in a cassette in there. I'm going to use this old cassette right here. I don't even know what it's about, but it says Marco PM. We'll find out. So it seems to be doing something here. Okay, so the rewinding is completed, so let's press play.
En exclusiva, el astrólogo Nicole y OJ, mañana en hard copy. And finally, y finalmente, llamen al correo de voz de hard copy con sus comentarios al 1900-268-6868. Cada llamada cuesta 50 centavos.
Okay, so from that you know that this cassette was recorded back in 1995 because it was the O.J. Simpson trial. So let's carry on. Okay, so this is what I recorded. Let me pause. Okay, so back in those days when I was still a teenager, I recorded this show. This is Yanni live at the Acropolis. So I remember the following day I was going to go to school, so I did a programming like I showed you. So I had this VCR. Well, it wasn't this actual machine right here, but I had a VCR do the recording for me because it was after my bedtime. Okay, so here's another old cassette. This is back from 1990 or 1991. It's a birthday my cousin's birthday. I think he was turning 6 or 7, I don't know. And that's how that worked back in those days. Doesn't seem entertaining at all, but it is what it is. I lowered the volume because it has some music and I know it's going to give me a copyright strike. But the next thing I want to show about this TV is how big it was. So this is where the antenna would go, which I no longer have. But like I said, it's been 20 something years, 24 years, 23 years, 1999. And I have been using it for Roku right here, because you can connect it, and this older Roku could connect over here. So it wasn't a HDMI Roku, but rather a video input Roku. So it actually did work, although not very pleasant to look at it that way. Lastly, you are able to watch TV on this if you use a converter box, because this uses analog signal, and in 2011 the US went from analog to digital. So basically this no longer catches any channels. It doesn't capture any kind of channels, because this is an analog TV, so you can watch TV if you use a converter box, which it's there somewhere, but I've never used it. I remember getting that for free because the government would give us 2 converter boxes per household for free. So I think that I think we've reached the end of this. Whoa. I think we've reached the end of this review. So there's nothing to say about this other than it was a nice TV. Still works. 20 years later, 22 years later, still going. And let's look at some other cassettes and see what they look like. Okay, so the last thing I want to show you is the video head cleaning system that they had. This particular one was branded Maxell. So there were 2 types. One was the dry type and the other one was the wet type. According to the instructions, this device right here on the left used the dry type. If you use the wet type, you would damage the heads. So there was no window, as you can see. And I believe this lasts about 30 seconds or maybe less. So you would put it in the VCR. Well, let me press play. And on some types of cleaning cassettes, you would see an image while the cleaning was going on. But on this type, it never showed anything. It's just cleaning. And it's gonna run out of tape in a moment. And that's it. It ran out of tape. So that's how that worked. So anyway, thank you for watching. Subscribe and thumbs up.